Everyone always talks about real estate as the ultimate path to building wealth, and for a long time I thought that meant saving up a massive down payment, dealing with banks, and then becoming a landlord. But what if I told you that the biggest barrier to entry, actually owning a physical property, is completely optional? What if you could tap into the immense profit potential of the real estate market without ever having to fix a leaky toilet, chase down a late rent payment, or spend your weekends mowing a lawn? It sounds almost too good to be true, but it's not. There are legitimate, powerful strategies that allow you to make money from real estate without the headaches of ownership. These methods are all about investing smarter, not harder. We're talking about ways to generate passive income, benefit from property appreciation, and diversify your portfolio, all from the comfort of your own home, often with just a few clicks. Forget the late-night calls about broken furnaces or the stress of finding reliable tenants. The strategies we're about to dive into completely bypass the traditional landlord experience. You get to participate in the upside of the real estate market while someone else handles all the day-to-day management, maintenance, and tenant issues. This is the secret that wealthy investors have used for years to build their fortunes. So, if you've ever been intrigued by real estate but were put off by the high costs, the time commitment, and the responsibilities of being a landlord, this video is for you. I'm going to break down 8 different ways you can start profiting from real estate today without needing to buy a single property. We'll cover everything from passive, stock market-like investments to more active strategies that require a bit of hustle. By the end of this, you'll have a complete roadmap to building real estate wealth on your own terms. So, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's get into it. Alright, let's start with one of the most popular and accessible ways to invest in real estate without buying property: real estate investment trusts, or REITs. Think of a REIT like a mutual fund, but instead of holding stocks in various companies, it owns, and in most cases operates, income-producing real estate. We're talking about massive portfolios of commercial properties like apartment complexes, office buildings, shopping malls, hotels, and data centers. When you buy a share of a REIT, you're essentially buying a small piece of all those properties, and you get to share in the rental income they generate. The best part? They are legally required to pay out at least 90% of their taxable income to shareholders as dividends, which can mean a steady, passive income stream for you. The beauty of REITs is their liquidity and diversification. Unlike a physical property that can take months to sell, you can buy and sell shares of publicly traded REITs on major stock exchanges just like any other stock, like Apple or Tesla. This gives you incredible flexibility. Plus, with a single investment, you're instantly diversified across dozens or even hundreds of properties, sometimes across different states or even countries. This spreads out your risks significantly compared to owning just one rental property. However, it's not all perfect because they trade like stocks. Their value can be sensitive to overall market fluctuations. And while the dividends are great, they're typically taxed as ordinary income, which can be a higher rate than long-term capital gains. So that's something to keep in mind. Now let's take the concept of REITs and broaden it a bit with real estate mutual funds and exchange-traded funds, or ETFs. These are another fantastic way to get broad exposure to the real estate market without picking individual properties or even individual REITs. These funds pool money from thousands of investors to buy a wide variety of real estate-related assets. This could include a mix of different REITs, stocks of real estate development companies, home builders, or even companies that service the real estate industry. It's like buying a pre-made, diversified real estate portfolio, all in one neat package. You get the benefit of professional management, where a fund manager is making the decisions about what to buy and sell. The main difference between the two often comes down to how they're traded. Mutual funds are typically priced once at the end of the trading day, while ETFs trade throughout the day on an exchange, just like a stock. This gives ETFs a bit more flexibility and often lower fees. Speaking of fees, that's the main thing to watch out for here. Both mutual funds and ETFs will have an expense ratio, which is the annual fee you pay for the management of the fund. While these are usually pretty low, especially for passively managed ETFs, they can eat into your returns over time. So, when you're comparing funds, always look at the expense ratio. But for someone who wants to just set it and forget it, these funds offer an incredibly simple way to invest in the entire real estate sector. If you want to be a little closer to the action and invest in specific, tangible projects, then real estate crowdfunding might be perfect for you. This is a relatively new model that has exploded in popularity thanks to the internet. Platforms like Fundrise or CrowdStreet connect real estate developers who need funding for a project, like building a new apartment complex or renovating an office building, with a large group of individual investors like you and me. Instead of one big bank or a few wealthy investors funding the whole deal, hundreds or even thousands of people can chip in, sometimes with as little as a few $100s. This has completely democratized access to the kinds of high-quality private real estate deals that were once reserved for the ultra-rich. With crowdfunding, you can browse through different projects, look at the business plans, the projected returns, and the timelines, and then choose which specific deals you want to invest in. This gives you more control and the potential for higher returns compared to a broad market REIT or ETF. However, there's a significant trade-off: liquidity. When you invest in a crowdfunding project, your money is typically tied up for the duration of that project, which could be anywhere from 3 to 10 years. You can't just sell your share on a whim like you can with a stock. So, this is a strategy for long-term capital that you don't need immediate access to. It's a fantastic way to access unique opportunities, but you have to be comfortable with locking up your funds for a while. Let's talk about a more traditional, old-school method that's still very effective: real estate limited partnerships, or RELPs. This is for those who want to be completely passive and are looking for some potential tax advantages. In a RELP, you have two types of partners: the general partner and the limited partners. The general partner is the one who does all the work. They find the property, manage it, deal with tenants, and execute the business plan. As a limited partner, your role is simply to provide capital. You're a silent, passive investor. You hand over your investment money and then sit back and hopefully collect your share of the profits without lifting a finger. The big appeal here, besides the passive income, is the tax benefits. In many RELPs, things like property depreciation can be passed through to the limited partners, which can create paper losses that can offset your passive income from the investment, potentially reducing your tax bill. It's a strategy often used by high-income earners. However, just like with crowdfunding, this is an illiquid long-term investment. Your capital is locked in for the life of the partnership, which could be several years. You're also putting a lot of trust in the general partner's ability to execute, so it's absolutely crucial to vet the sponsor and their track record very carefully before you invest. This isn't for beginners, but it's a powerful tool for the right investor. Okay, now we're shifting gears from passive investing to more active, hustle-based strategies. First up is wholesaling. This is one of the most talked about ways to get into real estate with very little or sometimes even no money down. A wholesaler doesn't actually buy or sell property. Instead, they find a distressed property, usually one that needs repairs and is owned by a motivated seller, and get it under contract to purchase it at a below-market price. Then, instead of closing on the property themselves, they find another buyer, typically a real estate investor or a house flipper, and they assign the contract to that buyer for a higher price. The difference between their contract price and the price the end buyer pays is their fee. For example, you might get a property under contract for $100,000. You then find a flipper who is willing to pay $110,000 for that contract. You assign it to them, and at closing you walk away with a $10,000 assignment fee without ever having to own the property, get a loan, or manage a renovation. It sounds simple, but it requires a lot of work. You need to be great at marketing to find motivated sellers, skilled at negotiation to get a good price, and have a strong network of cash buyers ready to go. It's a high-effort, high-reward strategy that can generate quick cash, but it's a full-on business, not a passive investment. If wholesaling sounds a bit too intense, but you still like the idea of finding deals, then you might be interested in being a bird dog. In the real estate world, a bird dog is someone who has a knack for finding potential investment opportunities, but doesn't want to get involved in the negotiation or the contract process. Your job is simply to locate properties that look like good deals. Maybe a vacant house with an overgrown lawn, a for sale by owner sign that's been up for months, or a property in pre-foreclosure, and then pass that lead on to a seasoned real estate investor. If that investor ends up buying the property you found, they pay you a finder's fee. This is arguably the lowest cost, lowest risk way to get started in the active side of real estate. Your only investment is your time and effort in finding deals. You could be driving for dollars, scouring public records, or just keeping your ears open in your community. The fee can range from a few hundred to a few $1,000s depending on the deal and your agreement with the investor. The downside is that the income is highly inconsistent. You might find several deals one month and then nothing for the next 3. It's a great way to learn your market and build connections with serious investors, but it's more of a side hustle than a reliable income stream until you get really good at it. Let's move into the digital realm with real estate affiliate marketing. If you have any kind of online presence, a blog, a social media following, a YouTube channel, you can make money by referring people to real estate-related products and services. This works just like any other affiliate marketing. You sign up for an affiliate program with a company, they give you a unique tracking link, and you earn a commission every time someone clicks your link and makes a purchase or signs up for a service. There are tons of opportunities in the real estate space for this. You could be an affiliate for real estate software, investor education courses, property management services, or even some of the real estate crowdfunding platforms we talked about earlier. The beauty of this model is that it's extremely low risk and requires zero capital to start. You don't create the product, you don't handle customer service, you simply act as the referrer. Your job is to create valuable content that genuinely helps your audience and then naturally recommend products that you believe in. The income potential can be highly variable. It all depends on the size and engagement of your audience and the commission rates of the products you promote. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme by any means. It takes time to build an audience and establish trust, but it can eventually become a very scalable and passive source of income related to your passion for real estate. Finally, if you've already built up a significant amount of knowledge and experience in real estate, you can monetize that expertise directly through consulting. A real estate consultant is someone who provides advice and strategy to clients for a fee. You're not a real estate agent who earns a commission on a transaction. Instead, you're an advisor who gets paid for your time and knowledge. Your clients could be first-time homebuyers who are overwhelmed by the process, investors looking for help analyzing potential deals, or even small business owners trying to decide whether to lease or buy a commercial space. You provide unbiased, expert guidance to help them make the best possible decision. To succeed as a consultant, you need to have a deep understanding of your local market, financing options, deal analysis, and real estate trends. You're selling your expertise, so you need to have a proven track record or a strong ability to research and present complex information clearly. You can charge by the hour, per project, or on a retainer basis. This is one of the most direct ways to turn your intellectual capital into income. It's not passive at all, you're actively working with clients. But it can be incredibly rewarding and lucrative if you establish yourself as a trusted authority in the field. It's the ultimate way to profit from real estate knowledge without needing any of your own capital in a deal. So there you have it. 8 powerful strategies to start making money in real estate without the burden of actually owning property. We've covered the full spectrum from completely passive long-term investments like REITs and ETFs that let you invest with a few clicks, to more active, hustle-based approaches like wholesaling and bird dogging that reward your time and effort. And we explored modern digital avenues like crowdfunding and affiliate marketing, as well as the expert path of consulting. The key takeaway is that the real estate market is vast and full of opportunities that go far beyond the traditional landlord route. There is a path for every risk tolerance, capital level, and time commitment. Now, it's incredibly important to remember that this video is for informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Each of these strategies comes with its own set of risks, rewards, and complexities. I strongly encourage you to do your own deep dive research into any option that caught your interest. Read books, listen to podcasts, and really understand the ins and outs before you commit any of your hard-earned money. For the more complex strategies like RELPs or even choosing the right ETFs, it could be incredibly valuable to consult with a qualified financial advisor or a tax professional who can help you make decisions that are aligned with your personal financial goals. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this. I hope you found this breakdown valuable and that it opened your eyes to new possibilities. If it did, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow and tells the YouTube algorithm to share this with more people. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos where we break down more ways to build wealth and achieve financial freedom. Also, be sure to follow me on all my other social media platforms to stay connected.